Hello everybody and welcome back once again to The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, and we can defeat electricity with our sword. That's what this sword does. Anyway, this quote-unquote fourth dungeon, which isn't really much of a dungeon, is Hyrule Castle, obviously. With this thing, it's basically like this. It's a battle dungeon, really. There's no map, there's no compass, there's basically one path to go. And you either defeat enemies or to get keys or stuff like that, or yeah, basically just stuff like that. So anyway, you go up a lot in a castle where you don't see a lot of upwards stuff outside of it. And I want that money. It's useful. Oh, and I didn't even need to worry about that room. There's some rooms that there's absolutely nothing in, but still, obviously defeat enemies and get money and stuff. This place is much, much easier when you have your little sword beam, because then you can just smack these things from across the room. Just like that. Although that wasn't with the sword beam. Anyway, we need that chest. Get out of here, bat. Oh, hey. What'd you see? Just like this. Bye-bye. No more useless night guarding nothing. And that's basically all this dungeon is, really. You have one room, there's only two exits. The way you came in and the way to continue. Sometimes there's keys, and there's enemies, and stuff like that. That's literally this whole thing. And it's, I don't know. It's different, I guess, but... Oh, hey, arrows. Oh, you jerk. Just taking my little sword beam away. Take that. Oh, well, got that back. And there's obviously dark rooms, but they're not. Again, sword beam fixes a multitude of things. And so does rupees. I heard you somewhere. Oh, there you are. Get you out of there, and... no. Ouch. There went my sword beam. And there it is. Out there it goes again. Oh, hey, that was a good shot. So yeah, some of the rooms you actually do have to defeat them to actually advance. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. You! Oh wow, that was terrible. No, I don't want to hit that. Get. Thank you. Stupid red guard things. Oh hey, look. Take an arrow to the face. You're gone? There really isn't much more of this, honestly. Good grief, excuse me. Oh, jeez. And I like how these guards are especially the one in the middle, has got to be the most useless kind of idiot guard in the palace. They cannot lift pots, so he's pretty much stuck there. And that's... good grief, I am... ugh. So yeah, that guard is pretty much useless. Obviously you can just keep going on here, but... ouch, ouch, which may be a smart idea. Except I have arrows. Oh yeah, let's waste another arrow. And I got pretty much nothing for that. That's right, walk right up where I can hit you again, you stupid thing. Oh hey, got my sword beam back. And some arrows. Arrows are good. And this is actually the last room, I believe, before the boss fight. Yes, it is. Okay. So yes, we keep going up. There's the little thingamajig. Now, why would that be in Hyrule Castle? That little eye thing. Oh yes, this, what's his name with Zelda? But that eye thing is like marks the boss and the dungeons and temples, but why is it in Hyrule Castle? Either I don't know. I'm not even going to attempt to get into that. So yes, he zaps Zelda. Yeah. So you're locked in, and you figure out another gameplay mechanic is these curtains. You can actually chop them open, and he's just hiding back here. And now, for fun, you know, you got this whole story about how the Master Sword is what will reflect his magic back at him. However, the bug net does just as well, except on that when it does this little spewy thing. So you don't need the Master Sword at all to defeat this guy. Okay, when he goes in the middle, oh, good grief. When he goes up top in the middle and just looks down, he'll do his lightning bolts. I did not know I'd get electrocuted for hitting him. I guess I've never been that stupid before. Ouch. Ow. And I chopped him again. That was smart. I want to hit you. That's not the one I want you to do. Okay. More lightning. You can actually, if you're in the right spot, there's a couple different patterns of the lightning bolt, but when you're in the right spot, you can stand in between the bolts and not get hit. And there we go, we defeated him with a bug net. And with that, we get sent to the Dark World. Yes, Hasrala. Oh, really? It's not like you've done that before. Oh, yeah. Gives us some of the story between the two different worlds. I guess kind of the mechanic between them. And we're supposed to now rescue the maidens as well. Yes, they're locked in hidden dungeons full of evil creatures and dangerous traps. And he tells us where to go for the first one, which is where I believe you have to go in the Dark World first, the first dungeon. After that, you could pretty much do any dungeon in whatever order you want. Because I think generally most people leave at least for speedrunning, leave the second Dark World dungeon for the last Dark World dungeon, or second to last, something like that. However, I am not very familiar with speedrunning this game, so yes, another thing, you have enemies that do basically the same thing as the Light World, except they look different. And you have new enemies like this Cyclops guy. He throws bombs. So anyway, before we head to the dungeon, there's stuff I want to do and get. Take out your pig. That little pig becomes important later. And these guys, kind of annoying, but they do drop money. Oftentimes, anyway. Just like that. Alright, that's right, get out here. More money. I think that's another, like, gambling shop or something. Get out here. Oh, well, it doesn't appear to be much back here. Anyway, I went to go talk to this person who's using my mushroom. Oh, maybe it's inside. Oh yeah, there it is. So yes, magic powder. Sprinkling it. Yeah, sprinkling it on stuff will do things. But I'll show that off later. So yes, anytime you use your magic mirror from the Dark World, the little portal to return appears at that spot. And it will stay there until you get to the Dark World through that portal or through another portal, and then use the mirror again and set it in another spot. Back here where the Zoras were, the area is actually blocked off entirely. I don't think there's anything special over here. Oh, ill omen, yes. And you do want to come back here. Yeah, right here. Oh yes, and some of the rocks are actually enemies. Okay, pick something up and throw it in this obviously weird looking ring of rocks. And the fish will eat you. Anyway, it's grumpy, so it gives you stuff. Yes, we got our first medallion, the Quake medallion. We'll be getting the... There's 3 of them, and we'll be getting the other 2 shortly. Probably after the first dungeon or so. Anyway, they do stuff, but they do take a lot of magic. And with that, I think I'm actually ready to go head into the first dungeon. Because I don't really think there's much else you can do in the Dark World yet. Until you get to the first dungeon, because there's an item in there that you need to get other places. I think you're pretty much blocked off in this area. And that's a shop. I thought that was a good gambling game thing. Oh well. Didn't leave me anything. Little. Well, the single rupee's better than none. Oh, it's a Cyclops bomb guy. And no more money here. First dungeon in the Dark World is where the first dungeon in the Light World was. Back where the desert was in the first game. Yeah, first game, that's a good one. Yes. These guys throw explosions and stuff at you, but when you defeat them, they drop bombs a lot. So if you're low on bombs, defeat a couple of them and you've got quite a bit of bombs back. Don't think there's anything down here to worry about. Just a way back up out of the water. I'm not worried about that stuff right now. And I believe if you need it, I'm going to check here. I believe this is still a fairy cave. Yes. And I don't need it. Ouch. Stupid tree. Okay, so this area was formerly the desert in the Light World. Dark World, it's this weird spiky hedge area, I guess you would call it. And I don't think... I'm trying to remember exactly. Oh, yeah. Can't have to go around. Anyway, this is, I guess, supposed to be the equivalent of Sahasrah's hut, except there's a tree in here. So yes, it will only obey the first person who touches it, but if you defeat that person, then that doesn't really matter. So, yes. I wonder what's hanging out back here. Is this money? It's just hearts. So, well, I guess if you need hearts, it's back here. Alright. Oh, look at that obvious arrow painted in the... Ouch. That took 3 hearts. It didn't give me anything. So yes, you will see little, like, air holes, I guess. Basically, there's holes you can see through the hedges, and that signifies where you can walk through it. Which you will kind of need to get to this part here, which isn't that hard. You can see me moving behind it there. And you get a monkey following you after you exit this one. And he likes rupees. Just like all the stuff in this game, they're very greedy. They just want money. And... yes, there it goes. If you get hit while the little monkey's following you, it will run off. And then you have to go back and pay it 10 more rupees, because you do need this thing. Yes, you already told me that. So, at the very least, you will need 110 rupees to enter this dungeon. Just forewarning you, in case you're a little short. Because it's closed, but he will open it for 100 rupees. So, sure. And with that, actually, I think we will start this dungeon in the next video. So after this epic entrance here, I thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully we'll see you for part 8, I believe, when we enter in and finish up the first dungeon in the Dark World. We will see you then.